Yes, them have the heart of a pagan. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous trod in the countenance of the Almighty One. Them have the heart of demons. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous walk in the countenance of the Almighty One. Good people see hostility rising daily.
Shalom, Israel. You on deck with Officer and Priest Marvel Quad of the I.S.U.P.K. representing our school from Chicago. I'm on deck with Trooper Aria from our school right here in Philadelphia. And when I say Shalom, Israel, I'm talking to blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. We're going to be going over a topic today that is real heavy. And that's identity. What is the real identity of the Jews? Who are the real Jews according to the Bible? You understand? As we know in this school, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, the so-called European or so-called white man that called himself a Jew is not a Jew. You understand? That's identity, that's what he has right there. He done stolen the identity of the real Jews. The real Jews are the so-called Negroes living right here in the land called North America. And how do we know that? Because when you go in the Bible, you will see that there's prophecies in here that only fit these people, that's the so-called Negro that's living in the land right here in North America. You understand? These scriptures and these prophecies does not fit the so-called Jews, Jewish, that's calling themselves Jews. They are not the Jews. They don't belong in that land over there. You understand? They are imposters. And we're going to prove it according to the Bible. The first scripture we're going to go to is Deuteronomy 28:68. You understand? Moses prophesied that this would happen not only to the Jews, the so-called Negroes, but that this would happen to all of them tribes, to the whole 12 tribes. When I say the whole 12 tribes, I'm talking about the so-called Hispanics and Native American Indians living in Central and South North America. You understand? You got that for me?
Come.
Read nice and loud.
Deuteronomy 28:68.
Write this scripture down. This scripture right here is real heavy. You understand? Ain't but one people that came from the continent of Africa over here to North America on slave ships, and we're gonna read the transatlantic slave trade right out of the Bible. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Right, stop right there. The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. What does that mean? The Jews and the rest of the tribes was in Egypt thousands of years ago. So right here, Moses is saying the Lord gonna bring us into Egypt again. This is a prophecy that was going to happen to us if we didn't obey the Most High and we went against his law, statutes, and commandments, which we did. And when you read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, you will read the blessings and the curses that will happen to the children of Israel. So this said, right, read that again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
When you look up the word Egypt, it just means bondage, meaning slavery. The Lord going to bring you into slavery again, a second time. You understand? Ancient Egypt was known for what? Having the Jews in slavery. What is America known for? The foundation of America. You understand? Bringing the so-called black man and enslaving them. Now let's read how we was going to go into that slavery. Read.
The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With ships. You black people better start to wake up and understand that you are the real Jew that the Bible was talking about. Right here, Moses prophesied 1,000 years ago that we would come to a land to serve our slavery in ships. And that right there didn't happen to the so-called Jew. The so-called Jewish white man, he can't take claim to that. But you so-called Negroes living in the land of America, you can take claim to that. That's a part of your history. Coming here on slave ships. You understand? You sitting in the white man's school for years after year, and for some reason they never bring this up. They don't bring this up in your church, and they don't bring this up in the schools that the white man got you sitting up in. You understand? Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
And thou shalt see it no more again. Meaning what? We ain't gonna see our homeland no more. You understand? We're going to wake up in 2013 and not even know that we the Jews. You understand? If it wasn't for Commander General YAHANNA and the Israelite School of UPK, black people would not know their true identity. Hispanics would not know their true identity. Native American Indians, they would not know their true identity, man. But thank God that the Most High put the Spirit on the 7 heads back in 1969 to bring out this truth. And now it's time for us to deal with it, that our history is in the Bible. The Bible is our history book. You understand? Read on.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemy.
And you shall be what?
Sold unto your enemy.
We went up on the slave blocks like cattle, man, like animals, and was sold to our enemy. The so-called white man is your enemy, according to the Bible. You understand? We sitting here trying to get along with the people who the Lord said was our enemy, who we ain't received no justice for 400 years since we've been in this place. And you running up in the Christian church talking about God love everybody. Let's all get along in one rainbow coalition. Meanwhile, the whole time we've been in this land of our enemy, we've been destroyed. You understand? Drop that, give me Deuteronomy 28 verse 48. You understand? It's time for us to deal with the truth. You understand? The slave trade is right here in the Bible, and they don't never bring this scripture out. How come they don't bring this scripture out in church? You got that for me?
Come.
Read.
Therefore, Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies with which the Lord shall send against thee.
We're going to serve our enemies, man. We've been serving this so-called devil, the white man, for over 400 years. This is another prophecy to prove that what the Jews was going to go through. Read on.
In hunger and in thirst.
And hunger. You understand? When we were slaves, we had the so-called slave master, they fed us during the time when we was brought over here as slaves. And he's still feeding us. Read on.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness means you got to go to this man for food and for clothes. Read on.
And in want of all things.
And read that again.
And in want of all things.
So when we was brought over here in the 1600s to do slavery, we had to depend on the slave master for everything. That's what this scripture is telling you. You understand? The so-called black man, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, we still slaves. Why? Because we got to depend on the so-called white man for everything, even still to this day. What you think the EBT cards is about? You understand? When we're not standing on our own. The so-called white man wants you to depend on him so you can remain a slave. We don't have no economy system living in this land. You understand? Read on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Read that again.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Man, listen, all you got to do is look. You could go to on the internet and look up pictures and put yoke of iron on the slaves, and it'll come up with pictures showing that the slaves had yoke of iron around their neck. You understand? A lot of our kids don't know this. Our kids ain't being taught this. They're being taught slavery no more in them schools. You understand? The slaves walk around with yokes of iron around their neck like cattle. They treated us like cattle, and we want to forget about slavery. You understand? The Most High said, you may forget, but he'll never forget. The so-called white man that live in this land, and especially the so-called white man who calling himself a Jew, which he is not, they got to pay for that. They got to pay for stealing our identity, man. You understand? Drop that, give me Jeremiah 17 verse 4. To show our people some more that it was prophesied by the prophet that what would happen to the real Jews. And one of those prophecies was that you would lose your identity. That's what Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4 is going to show you. That you was going to wake up and not know your identity. We've been everything in the book. Colored, Negro, black, Afro-American, African-American. You understand? Well, that's not the true identity of the so-called Negro that's living in this land called America. The true identity of the black man living here in America is he from the tribe of Judah, which means he is the real Jew. We're going to have to face that, man. The more that we decide not to face it, the more these plagues that the Most High sent against the children of Israel is going to cling on to us, man. You know, you got that for me? You know what I mean? We're going to Jeremiah 17 verse 4. And to show you that it was prophesied that we was going to discontinue from our heritage. You got that?
Come.
Read.
Jeremiah 17 verse 4. And thou even thyself.
And thou even thyself, read on.
Shall discontinue from thy heritage.
You know what it is to mean, to discontinue mean you're going to stop. You understand? You're going to stop from the heritage that the Most High gave us, man. We are the chosen people of God. Any other nation, you tell them that they the chosen people, they would accept that. But the Lord said that we are stiff-necked and rebellious people. You running around there talking about you Egyptologist, you an Egyptian, or you from Africa. All we say is you say you an African or Egyptologist or taking on a religion of the Arabs, you claiming that to be your identity. Where's the proof? Because the Bible is undisputable evidence that the so-called black man living here in America is the real Jew. We're gonna pull out some more to show you the description of the Jews. We ain't gonna stop right there. But all these other nations, they got their identity from years past. They know their history. They haven't discontinued from their heritage. But you, black man, you have. Read on.
From thy heritage that I gave thee.
From the heritage that the Lord gave thee. What is the heritage that the Lord gave us? It's law, statutes, and commandments, man. You understand? Don't eat this. You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep with another man's wife. You know what I'm saying? Pay tithes. You know what I mean? Build up your nation. You know what I mean? Be a separate people. You understand? The Lord gave us a heritage. He gave us our own homeland, which is the land of Israel, which we was kicked out of in 70 AD by the Roman Empire and went and ran into Africa, which you can find that information out from the book Babylon and Timbuktu. You understand? And the so-called white man went and found us in Africa and brought us to the land to Americas. But we are not Africans. You understand? Drop that. Give me Psalms 83 and start at verse 2.
Yes, them have the heart of a pagan. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous trod in the countenance of the Almighty One. Them have the heart of demons. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous walk in the countenance of the Almighty One. Poor people see hostility rising daily. Ignorant multiply brutality. I see that they run gone left mommy. Fi struggle the hard road with fight beginning. Our I see baby having baby. Nothing that happen no do.